When someone passes, where do they go? Gone forever, or can they show? What if you could find someone between to bridge the gap of those unseen?
How are you connected?
My daughter.
Is your mother passed away? Okay, she's here. All right. I'm sorry. Aw.
And you had a son? Is that the one that's the cross? Because I hear, tell mom and dad I got a haircut.
Mom, dry your tears. It's Rye. Ryan Rye. I don't know if he wants
Ryan.
to. Okay. He wants to lean down and give you all a kiss.
That's Ryan.
And he says, thanks for the balloons. I have no idea what that means.
God.
If I can help one person out there know that they're loved, to feel comfort, that there's hope, that we will reunite with those that we have loved but never lost, my work's complete then.
And the beautiful Michele Livingston.
Hello, Tony. I want to say a shout out to you. I want to say that Tony Sweet's a wonderful person, and he is my new co-host, and he is the CEO of Universal Broadcasting Network, UBN. So I'm being, hi Tony, I'm being aired on Channel 1, and I'm so happy to be back in the saddle.
Well,
I took a summer hiatus. As you know, it's been a 3 months away, and I actually went to southern France. I had a great time there, and always wanted to see the lavender fields. They were on my bucket list. And there were just miles and miles of beautiful purple lavender, and the fragrance was amazing. And then my husband and I ended up in Monaco, in Monte Carlo. That was on my bucket list as well. So we had a good time, and it was good. It was good being back. So thank you, Tony, for being with me.
Of course. I'm so honored. I think you're one of the most talented psychic mediums out there today, and I'm honored to be with you today too.
Thank
you. In fact, my show on air with Tony Sweet was on at this time slot on Channel 1. So it's an honor to actually have you replace my show, because I'm retiring my show to focus on my other show, Truth Be Told. And
yes,
but
that's a fantastic show, and that's on
you.
Channel 1 as well, Tony.
It's
right?
Channel 1 on Fridays at 4:00. And but before you, I'm just gonna take over for a minute and do a little interview on you for people that tune in for my show, and they're like, "Hey, where's Tony Sweet?" Well, I'm here.
Who is that lady in the Zen garden?
Right. Well, they could be, who's that two ladies in the? No, I was kidding. But listen, I've interviewed a lot of psychic mediums, and the first question I get from my listeners and people that ask me is like, "What is the difference between a psychic and a medium?" I thought that was the same thing. Could you answer that question for us?
Absolutely. All mediums are psychic, but not all psychics are mediums. A medium is able to bridge the gap between earth and heaven. So we are conduits, we are messengers. A psychic can read the auric field of someone. They may be able to tell opportunities that will occur in the future. So I am psychic. Sometimes when I'm doing a reading, good news comes out, like the conception of a baby coming up, or a new job opportunity for someone. But my main thrust is to bring comfort and hope, as you saw in the introduction a minute ago, to those that have had loss. Loss is so final when there's no resolution, or there's not even a goodbye. So whether it's the loss of a child or a spouse or whoever it may be, I've been doing this work 30 years, and I really love my work. And I want to thank everyone that wrote to me that said they would be watching tonight, this afternoon. If you're in LA, it's what, 4?
Yeah, it's 4 o'clock.
I'm in Central PA. We're a little after 7 o'clock. And So that's what I do, Tony. That's the difference between the two.
And
I-
I just want to make sure that people understand that every psychic has their own abilities, or every mediums and psychic has their own abilities, and they have their own style. And do you have your own prep time style that you do? So, some people go into meditation before, some people just like I've seen you just and it just comes out. So, is there a certain style that you do?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, thanks for asking that, because I learned how to develop it. And there are certain channels throughout the body that I call portals. So before I do a reading, I take a few deep breaths and I count to 8. And with counting, I open up channels or portals, and I can actually feel my soul going up out of my body.
Wow.
Slightly, as loved ones come down to the earth plane to say hello. So they're in a higher, faster frequency. Some people call it the other side or heaven or the next dimension, but souls are eternal, and the bond of love, of course, we know can never be broken. So that's how I prepare. 30 years ago, when I was starting out, I would be at a party and talking to someone and look up and see Uncle Charlie, because I didn't have really a filter then. But I had to learn how to shut down and how to open up. And so even when I do phone sessions, I don't want to even have my eyes open. I close my eyes because, of course, I'm seeing with spiritual eyes. Up here, I'm not seeing with physical eyes. And then when I'm done, I close the portals or the channels. Sometimes I visualize, it sounds kind of odd to say it, but golden screws that I screw into these sections. So the palms of my hand, the soles of my feet, the crown chakra up in here, of course, the psychic eye, and on down would be what I open up. And I get a little lightheaded, but when I'm doing this show, I really go for it. I say a little prayer of protection before I come on, but then I do my counting. So I'm in a way open right now. In a way, I'm closed. It just depends how far I want to go, Tony.
Right. No, I get it. And I think, that's what a lot of people is, not that they're fearful of it. It's just not understanding psychic mediums. I think that's the biggest thing. And I know a lot of people they always say this, I'm scared they're going to tell me something bad.
Right.
And when you do a reading, how does it come through? Does it always come through positive, or even when it doesn't come through positive, how do you relate that in more of not a warning or a threat, but as a positive, vision?
Yeah, that's another good question. The spirit world will never say anything to upset anyone. If someone's health is going down, for example, if a grandfather is getting ready to pass on, they may say the grandfather's health is taking a downhill turn and we are preparing a pathway for him to come over. But as far as anything terribly shocking or negative, that doesn't come out that way. They monitor and they know what someone can handle, which I find is very interesting. From that perspective, they can feel empathically who I'm reading for, whether it's their daughter, their son, whoever it may be, and they soften a little bit around the edges, the souls, because I believe in a life view. And I've even had clients say, "Get them out of here. I don't want to talk to them."
Wow.
If it's an in-law,
right,
that they didn't get along with. But what is interesting, and you asked me how I perceive them, they circle around the individual. And that way I know where to place them in the person's family. So we have mother's side, which is always left as I'm facing the person. And then we have dad's side. A child past would step in the front, and behind an individual would be in-law, friend, spouse, someone that would not be directly in the bloodline. So right away, there's a category. And because I'm a clairvoyant and an artist, I actually see the spirit realms very clearly. And I will describe to the person what I'm seeing. If a father had a lot of pride, he doesn't want to project old. He wants
Wow.
to project younger and good looking.
Right,
And
right, of course. Who
they
wouldn't?
exactly. So they do retain their personality and their mind and their memory bank and their consciousness. So I'll describe them, and then James von Prague informed me I was a trance channel. I'd done this for many years and never realized I took on the personality, not the voice.
Wow.
Because I think that would be a little scary for
Right.
people. But
Right. That would
if
be.
my voice would change.
Right.
But the personality shines out loud and clear. My mannerisms, my intonations change depending on who's saying hello from heaven.
Right, right. And one thing that you said, the trans channel, and maybe you know down the road or another episode that you can really get into the differences, because I've been around this for a while with my show, and then we talk about trans channels, and you can, I don't even know the terminology, hearing, smelling, seeing. There's different genres of psychic mediums.
Right, exactly.
And so are you all of those, or are you specifically just a few?
I'm becoming all of them.
That's great.
Recently.
That's great.
The clairvoyance is easy.
There we go,
because
clairvoyance.
Of the artist in me. The clairaudience comes then later when they, through thought transference, they telepathically send me information, and it's usually in the form of pictures or memories or sounds. And then I start to feel energy. Now, this is really interesting. I did a reading yesterday, and I started to get a really pounding headache about an hour before the reading. And I felt that someone might have taken their life, and I felt it might have been a gunshot to the head, because the pain was really intense, and I had to take an aspirin or two.
Right.
As soon as I had the client on the phone, she said my good friend from high school took his life, and I said, was it a gunshot to the head? And she said, absolutely. And he came through, and it was only a month ago. And there's really no condemnation with suicide. It is a choice, but we do have to go through a life review. So I kindly asked him to please stop my headache. So I start to feel things. If someone, for example, may have had diabetes, I feel like my legs are swelling, like I have edema or poor circulation.
Wow.
And if someone passed of a heart attack, I'll feel pressure on my respiratory or heart. It's just fleeting. It's just for a few moments. But lately, Tony, the smell or the fragrance of flowers or smoke, that's starting to come through more and more. The ability to actually smell, it's the olfactory.
Right.
There's a certain word for it, fancy word for it. I forget exactly what it's called. But yeah, so I do all of the above. And years ago, I used to do a lot of readings a day. And honestly, I have to be honest, I can do one, maybe two a day.
Wow.
The typical amount of spirits that come through are 3, but I've had up to 10 to 12 in one reading.
How did you not want to drink after that one?
I'll drink to that right now. This is water.
I'm getting a little selfish. I'll ask one more question, because I know we already have tons of people waiting on the phone lines. But how does one put either a light? I know I've heard Shar Margolis used to say putting a light around you, just for any negative feelings or thoughts that come at you just in a daily basis. But as a psychic, having so much energy, because we're all energy, but having energy from the other side coming at you, it may be, like you said, multiple people. How does one not walk away completely exhausted? And how would you not walk away going, I don't even want to do this anymore? Because that's a lot. It
is a lot. And I'm an empath. I'm sure you're an empath too, but I really do feel energy. I white light. Every morning I stand in front of the mirror and I say an affirmation of protection. I just say, please protect me physically, emotionally, mentally, my auric field, my soul, and let me only attract really clients. I want to help everybody, but let me attract clients and good people into my space for both our highest good. And let me attract situations into my space for my highest good. And I think it's an awareness. I think awareness is the key, that energy bombardment is out there. I do also not want to jump, but I want to give a shout out to those in Texas and Florida and
Yes.
Georgia.
Yes.
And I believe in the power of prayer. I really do. Prayer is very powerful. So I do say a prayer of protection, Tony, too, every morning and before I do my reading. So it's a combination of positive affirmations, of learning how to protect, of learning how to pace. Because it was interesting when you said you get to the point, do I really want to do this anymore?
Right.
But as long as I can continue to help people and bring them hope and some closure, I feel that's my mission. I really do.
And
So
I
that's
think,
why-
yeah, because that's what I'm saying. I couldn't imagine. I am an empath, and sometimes I have a hard time going to groups of people and being around people that are negative, because I either get depressed and I'm like, why am I even depressed? There's no reason to be depressed, and then go home and all of a sudden I'm at peace at myself. I'm like, wow, okay, now I feel better. I go back into a group, and so I think that's something that hopefully they listen to you and people that are empaths and they didn't know it. Maybe they can learn something to how to protect themselves.
Well, if people are watching that are empathic, you'll wake up in the morning feeling pretty good.
Right.
And you go to work, you go about your day, and about mid-afternoon, you're really tired. That's a sign that you've imbibed other people's energies and drama. And that's when you really need to protect. So empathic people really have mood swings depending on, like you said, what crowd they're in. I try not to watch a lot of, I don't watch any horror movies. I try not to watch the news that often. So
Right.
that's okay, because I'm kind of in my own world. I have to be in my own world. That would really pull me down. It really would. And I was asked to do psychic detective work.
Really?
Yes, several times. And by the Philadelphia Police Department approached me, and a lady had been strangled. And her son-in-law came in and took an ironing cord and came up behind her. This was a few years ago, and strangled her. They had just taken an insurance policy out, her daughter and son-in-law. But honestly, I saw the room that she was in. I saw her ashtray. I saw everything, her recliner. But I kid you not, the next morning I had a red ring around my neck.
Wow.
And my husband, John, saw it and he said, "What's wrong with you? Are you allergic to a certain necklace you're wearing?" And I said, "Oh my gosh, I've literally imbibed that whole situation. I will never do police work again." I mean, there are psychic detectives that are adept and very good at it. That's not my forte. That's not what I really want to do. I just want to be a good medium and help be the conduit and the bridge between worlds.
And,
So if I can do a good job with that, that's my mission is complete here.
No, and like you said, there are, just like anything, there's lawyers for certain things, there's doctors for certain things, and there's psychics for certain people too. So, and
Absolutely.
yeah, and do the best that you can do, and that's why people are lined up to call in, and definitely. Well, before we start taking calls, for the people out there that are on hold, there's a couple, not rules, but just things that we would like that you do is please not be on a speakerphone, because a lot of times the speakerphone, it's really hard to hear. We get a lot of the background noise. So if you could, when we answer your call, please just take it off speakerphone. And if you have a specific question, is there anything that you would want them to have specific questions, general questions, just so they know?
When someone says, "I want to hear from somebody,"
Right.
that's pretty general.
Yeah.
I really work well with people with recent loss. They don't have to tell me exactly who they want to hear from, but they might even say someone from my mother or father's side. Sometimes they really don't need to ask anything. It would be nice to have a question, but I start to see souls coming in almost immediately. The other component I want to say, Tony, is I need input. Every reader's different.
Right.
And I work with energy. So it really becomes an energetic exchange or an energy conversation.
Right.
And how it works, and you understand this, is we have me as the go-between, we have the souls standing there, and we have my client in front of me. So when the client confirms, it can be a month, a date, a name, a memory. The soul will take that thought form from the individual and they'll build on it, and they'll push it back through me. So actually it does become an energy conversation, and that's how it works. And it tends to flow that way. Now, people do get blocked, and the reason they do is they're not used to the energy shift. When I do phone or in-person readings, I always make a CD recording so that the person can refer back to it again and again. And invariably, they say, I heard new things. I hear new things every time I listen to my recording, because most of it went right over my head. And that's perfectly normal and natural.
Don't they call that also psychic amnesia? When they get a psychic reading, they're like, no. And then like later going, oh my gosh, that was Uncle Bob.
Exactly. And you brought that up too, which is great, because I love to read for families and just small groups, 3 and 4 family members. Because if you have a grandmother that wants to come through, she wants to go right down the line and say hello to everybody.
Right.
And if someone's jaw's on their lap where they can't think, another family member might say, well, you remember Uncle Joe, or you remember that relative. And so families work very well together. When one has the amnesia, the other one chimes in. And it really makes it so much easier. It flows. So you're not pulling teeth, so to speak.
Right. Well, are you ready to take some calls, or you want to?
Yes, absolutely. I just have to put my ear. Hold on a second.
Oh yeah,
here.
you want to make sure you can hear it.
Here we go.
Yeah, you don't want to go into psychic blind.
I know. I gotta find it now.
Oh, I see it on your left.
Yeah, but it's the opposite side.
I know. Your left side, I think, is what it was. There it is.
Yep.
There we go. All right. You ready?
Yes, I am, sir.
All right.
Thank you very much.
All right. So we're gonna take. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Would you please tell me where they're calling from as well? Could
Sure.
you do that? Or?
I can. I can give you the first one we're going to take. I think it's Stephanie from 978. And so when you're ready, we're going to go ahead and bring her on.
Sure.
All right.
I'm ready.
All right. Is this Stephanie from 978?
Hello.
Stephanie, you there? Let's make sure.
Steph?
Maybe she went on. She's probably listening to us and didn't. Well, let's put her back in the queue and see if we can.
Yeah. And the number. Do we have the number? Number?
The call number is 323-649-8268. So there you go. And then we will see if we can take another call here. Go ahead.
323-649-8268. Yeah.
All right. Are you there? This is a 570. Let's see. Are you there? Hello. That's hopefully.
I'm hearing voices already. Spirits.
Oh, do you? Well, let's see. I'm making sure they're on. Hello.
Yeah, the call center.
Yeah, I'm seeing them. I don't know if you hear me. Keep talking if you're there. I'm just making sure everything's up and running.
Yeah, call center up and running.
Yeah, we tried it early. It was working. I promise.
Hey, it's live, and it's our first show together after my few months off. So we'll play it by ear.
We'll make sure this happens. Well, let's see if I can get this going here. Well, I'll ask you another question until I'll keep working on this back end stuff. Okay, so for the people that are calling in, is there one particular area you said you'd like to talk to families? Is there one particular area that has been one of your favorites? That is it talking to a loved one? Is it talking to like a sassy grandma or a grumpy old grandpa? Is there anyone that you particularly enjoy?
What's interesting, Tony, is when I read when the spouse has crossed over, it's very detailed and very intimate. And especially if they've spent a lifetime together. Right. And recently I've read for loved ones, a wife who was married 65 years to her husband, and vice versa. So they will come in with very pertinent, detailed information about what's in the drawer, about what they did on vacation, just little things like this that are very detailed. So I would say across the board, a spouse is probably the closest to an individual with intimacy, if you understand what I'm saying. Right. And with details. I love to help families who have lost children. There's been a lot of drug overdoses lately. I mean, it's just epidemic. And I would say with my readings every other week, I read for a mother or father or family who has lost a son or daughter to drug overdosing.
Wow.
And that is really heart-wrenching to me.
Yeah, that would be really hard. I think that would be really hard. How do you not walk away from, again, how do you not emotionally involved?
Well, I have to clear. I clear. And sometimes I even have to lie down. And I have an office separate from my home.
Right.
And I'm there on weekends doing face-to-face readings, in-person readings, but I do phone throughout the world, actually. And there is no distance with spirit. But I do have to tell you that I have 3 angels that I work with, and they're called the light beings, and they do help me. 3 is the number of protection. Here we go again. And after I say the prayer of protection, these 3 angels will come around me and around the individual, no matter where the person is, and they'll welcome the person into their reading. And then we go literally nonstop.
Wow.
Literally nonstop. The other thing that I do, which is very unique, are soul portraits. So when the angels align with the person,
right,
and they pick up on their energy and their thought forms and patterns and so on, Tony, they will formulate, we call it a spiritual opening scene or a soul portrait. And it could be any time of the year, any season, any place. A lot of times there are symbolic birds and animals in it. But honestly, by the time my angels are done with interpretation, it's who the person is, it's their journey. And that starts off the longer version. And that would be close to an hour. That would be the 55-minute version. Where it starts with a soul portrait scene. And and invariably people say, that's me.
I love it.
And so also these soul portraits can be used for meditation. It calms people down and helps them sleep. You wouldn't believe how restless some of my clients are.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Now, do you, as a psychic, do you, when you get into more of a, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, and a psychic or psychic medium, because you have so much visions and encounters during the day, how is your sleeping? I mean, do you dream a lot too, or do you, when you go to bed, it's completely shut off?
Well, I know we astral project. Most of us do. Not every night. I think some of us are out 2 to 3 nights a week. And the way you know you're out is if you wake up between 3 to 5 in the morning and you can't get back to sleep. Or if you feel really tired and knocked out in the morning, it means your soul's been out doing work. So in one of my books, it's called Messages from Beyond, there are affirmations. And one of them is what you say to stay in your body. If you have something to do the next day of importance, oh, there you go. Thank you.
You're welcome.
If there's something that you need to do, whether it's a holiday or a meeting at work, you can say, please, I do not want my soul to leave my body tonight. I want to stay in my body. And I want to dream and have my REMs, you know, the rapid eye movements.
Right.
I want to wake up fully refreshed in the morning. And you will. You'll hop out of bed. You'll feel really good. And so, yes, darling, is my husband coming in here? Yes. Oh, okay. My husband, John, these are the little things I get every now and then.
The message?
Yeah, the massages. That's the way the Brits say, did you get a massage?
That's why I always say it. I think it's cute.
Yeah, did you get a massage? Yeah, so anyhow, Tony, we still have the call center.
It's on. I'm still working on it. For some reason, I tested it. People are actually hearing it. I'm just, for some reason, we're not hearing them. So I'm still working on this on the back end, and I'm going to click on a call right now to see. Oh, wait a minute. I think I hear somebody. I got a 314. You made it through to Michele Livingston. Hello, how you doing?
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Renetta. How are you?
I am doing fantastic, Renetta. Where are you calling from?
I'm actually calling from Dallas, Texas. I just relocated here.
Oh, my prayers go to Texas, my dear.
I'm sorry? Oh, yeah. It's a lot of flooding around here. So we fortunately did not get impacted. But definitely, we're definitely, prayers are all around us. Thank you.
Yes, you were in the clear, Renetta. You were in the clear. Good for you.
I have a question. Like, I feel like I'm very intuitive and very spiritual. Like I just dream a lot about things, and something may happen. I'm like, oh my goodness, I kind of dreamt that the other day.
Yes.
Do you see any of that stuff around me at all, or just my imagination?
Yes, I do, Renetta. When you dream like that, it's called precognition dreams. And what that means is it means pre-knowing. And we're on a slight delay, so I'm going to try to talk slowly. Usually I talk very quickly. But precognition dreams are really special. And my mother used to have them. She would dream of something and it would happen the next day. I want to say that you are out a lot of your soul's out in the astral world a lot at night. And I would like you to keep a pad, listen to me, a notebook and pen on your nightstand. And anything that you have a remembrance of, jot it down with the date. Is your father passed, Renetta?
No, he's not.
Okay, but your father's father is passed away, isn't he, darling?
Yes, and you know what? His name was Harold, and for some reason, I think that's one of my angels. Harold is the name. I just call him Harold. One of my angels I call Harold.
Yes. Okay, that was my uncle's name. I had an uncle, Harold. I want to tell you something. Harold is a spirit guide of yours. An angel has never been human, Renetta. An angel is a different energy from a human soul. But Harold says hello. And Harold's a spirit guide. He watches out for you, my dear. And you know something funny, Renetta? He wants to brush your hair. Have you thought about changing your hair in any way? Color, cut?
Color, yes, color. Just this morning, I was seeing I'm going to have my daughter color my hair this weekend.
Yeah, I thought so. That's his way also, Harold's way of acknowledging your daughter. He thinks she's very special, sweetheart. You've been a very good mother, Renetta. There have been times when you've had setbacks, I'm being told, and you're a survivor. So I have to pat you on the back. I have to hand it to you. You keep going and going emotionally. You understand what's being said, Renetta?
I do.
Yes. And you are intuitive. Like you'll think of something or someone and the phone rings a few minutes later, and that's the person. I also have a lady for you. And somebody had cancer, Renetta. Somebody had cancer. Do you know who that may be?
I know my grandmother's twin sister. She passed away of cancer.
Yes. Because I have a grandmother figure giving me the symbol for cancer. She has her hand on her abdomen and her chest. So it could have been starting to travel. But she loves you very much. And she says, surprise, Renetta. You didn't think you'd hear from me, did you?
I didn't. That's my Aunt Chucky. That's my grandmother's twin sister. When my grandmother passed, I would think about, oh, Lord, I just really want to hear my grandmother's voice. And my Aunt Chucky would call out the blue.
Yeah. Well, she's saying hello now. Out of the blue. That's a great way to say it. She's saying hello out of the blue, Renetta. So you're very empathic, and I also say intuitive. And write your feelings down in a notebook. I want you to do that. And I want you to be open to energy and feelings around you. Okay. I'm so honored to take your call. You're my first caller, Renetta.
Thank you. I'm honored to speak with you. And do you see me being a counselor? Because I feel like I'm supposed to be a counselor. I just think I'm a counselor.
You are a natural counselor. You say things off the top of your head to people. And
I do.
You right? Isn't that correct? You are here to heal humanity through communication. So
Yeah,
whether it's
okay.
at work, whether it's a neighbor, whether it's a friend, always have the ability to say what's in your heart, Renetta, because you've helped a lot of people. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really feel, that made me feel so validation. Thank you so much, ma'am. I
God
really appreciate
bless.
speaking with you.
Take care, Renetta. Bye-bye, honey.
You too, ma'am. All right, bye now.
Great first call. That was a great first call.
She's really a sweet lady and very empathic and very intuitive. I'm so glad that her grandfather acknowledged her daughter by coloring her hair this morning.
Oh, how funny.
So that's kind of called a lead-in.
Right.
They lead into different subjects that way.
I love it. Well, like I said, it's funny that, we had a few calls that did not connect. So maybe she needed that, and everything happens for a reason. So. All right,
it does.
Let's try another call. So we have a 214. I believe it's Sherry, but we'll find out and see if the call system. So Sherry, you there?
I'm here, Tony. How are you?
I'm good. Well, you're live with Michele Livingston, one of the best psychic mediums in the world. So go ahead and ask your question.
Hello, Sherry.
Hi, Michele. Hi, how are you?
Thank you. I'm doing wonderfully well. Thank you so much for calling in. What's your question, Sherry?
Sure. I want to know if there are any messages from my father. His name is Neil.
Absolutely. Hold on. Your father comes in on the right side. He has his hair combed back. Mm-hmm. I have to ask you if anyone smoked in family, Sherry. Did anyone smoke?
Anyone smoked?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
Oh, no. Mm-mm.
Are you sure? Does anyone burn incense? I smell smoke or incense or something. Really, I do, in the air, and it's not in my office here.
Not on his side of the family.
All right, let me go with this, Sherry. Who smoked on the other side then?
Oh, gosh, my grandmother and my uncle.
They're coming through. I do have to say that because I have to stick with what I get, darling. So I have your grandmother and I have your uncle. There's a B name somewhere, like a Bob or a Bill. I don't know if that goes to your husband's side or to your side. And that they can be on Earth or they can be past. Okay. But I'm getting a bus sound. Bill, Bob, if you think you know it, let me know. Okay. Would you do that?
The only thing I can think of is Bradley.
All right. Who's Bradley?
That's a cousin.
All right. Is he on Earth?
No.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I feel he went fairly quickly. You have a whole group, Sherry. Fasten your seatbelt, sweetheart. Fasten your seatbelt. You have Brad. You have Grandma. You have the uncle that smoked, and you have your daddy. So I have energy on the left side, which would be your mother's side of the family. And I have your daddy on the right side. And I have to tell you, he's sending you pennies from heaven, Sherry. I want you to look for pennies. It means you're number one to dad. And I want you to look for dimes, because in numerology, a dime goes back to number one. Okay. Dad was a hardworking man. He's talking about teeth.
About teeth?
Teeth. Mm-hmm. Did he ever pick his teeth, or did he have dentures or partials?
He did not take good care of his teeth, and he lost a couple right before he passed in the later years.
That's right. And he wants you to keep up with the dentist, Sherry.
Okay.
I have to laugh. And then your grandmother that smoked has a coverlet for you, honey. She wants to put a coverlet or a blanket over you. It looks like a throw. And there's going to be there's going to be changes in the home. You're going to give your home a facelift. And it's going to be painting, flooring. Have you thought about changing the energy in the home, Sherry?
No, the energy is really good as far as I know, and it's fairly new home, but I try to keep the energy really good.
Okay, but I'm going to put my foot down with this. There's going to be a room that's going to be painted, or there's going to be something added to the home, and I hope you have a lot of plants. Sherry. Plants give off oxygen.
I don't, but I will. But what you're talking about might be my boyfriend's thinking about building a carport out back.
Yeah, that would be it. There'll be some addition. There'll be some add-on. There'll be something new and different. Okay. All right.
Okay, great. Yeah.
So also I need to tell you to keep up with mammograms. I know that sounds odd to say. I'm not a medical intuitive, but I do see the symbol for it. And I have to ask you, Sherry, to be honest, do you know of anybody that had a glitch with a mammogram, like a cyst or a fibroid tumor? A friend or a relative?
No, I can't think of anybody right off the top of my head. I've been thinking about that I need to go get that done because I'm behind.
I know. Okay, then please do it because I see the symbol for it. And your grandmother that smoked is encouraging you to go get a mammogram, darling. Okay?
Okay.
So I want to say good luck with the new carport. Your dad, when you find pennies and dimes, look at the year. It'll be of significance. Your uncle says hello that smoked. All right. And I also, I want to say that Brad says hello as well. So you have a lot for a short amount of time, Sherry.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
God bless, sweetheart.
All right. You too. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Always.
Do you know where she was calling from, Tony?
214. So where would that be? Let me look and see where that be.
I was just curious. She almost had an accent, kind of like a.
Let's see. 214. That's another Dallas.
Oh.
So there's your accent.
there's my Texas accent.
That's right, baby. I got my Kansas accent going on. Well, I always think it's funny when you read and I see other people read that some of the things that come to the building a the addition or painting a room, and they're always like, well, why would she even tell me that? Is that more just for validation?
No, I feel energy, and I felt the energy was shifting in her home environment.
Oh,
so when the energy shifts in the home, it's either fixing it up to a point, adding on an addition, and I think the relatives who came through, which you have 4,
right?
They've probably been through the home. They probably know about the new addition, and they just wanted to acknowledge that that's coming up.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
All right. Well, the next one is here in California. I'm not sure exactly where. 707 number, and I believe her name is Karen. So you ready for another call?
Absolutely.
All right, let's go ahead and try it. All right, Karen, you there?
Hello.
Oh, she's excited.
Wow. Hey, Karen, how are you?
I am fine this evening. I'm glad to be one of your callers.
I'm honored you called, Karen. Thank you so much.
Yes, I'm from Vacaville, California.
Oh. Where is this?
I'm down the road from San Francisco. I'm about an hour from San Francisco.
So Central California.
Central. Well, guess what? I'm in Central.
Northern. Yeah.
Guess what, Karen?
Huh?
I said, guess what, Karen? I'm in Central Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay. Well, Tony got it. You're talking Central. Anyway, I'm grieving the loss of both of my parents. I lost my dad on Valentine's Day, and then I lost my mom 3 months later.
I'm so sorry.
I think maybe we can try to see if we can get either one of them to come through. They were, you said the number earlier, 65, and my parents were married 65 years.
Really, Karen? Well, that says to me that there was a lot of love there. I do have to say I have your dad through. And he says, Karen, Mom and I were good best friends as well as husband and wife. That's what he says.
Yes.
He didn't want to go on without her. And I have to ask, did they pass a short amount of time away from each other? Do you know what I'm trying to say, Karen? Dad was February. Was your mother right before that or after?
My dad passed on Valentine's Day, and my mom passed 3 months later.
That's where I want to go, because I feel they were joined at the hip, and I feel, Karen, that they made a soul agreement to go out together. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
I'm getting April, May time frame. April, May, someone's birth month.
My mom passed away in May.
Thank you. And I want to say she's through. And she says, I love you, Karen. And she says, I want you to remember Mother's Day with fond thoughts. And she either passed around Mother's Day, but I know you'll think of her every May at that time.
Yeah.
And your mother liked flowers, sweetheart. I smell the most beautiful flowers. And I don't know if she even liked to garden, but she's talking about Easter. Isn't this interesting? And did you ever see those white Madonna lilies that they have at Easter? They do in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Your mother has a lily for you, sweetheart. And it's the most beautiful fragrance. And she says you're her number one, Karen. And she's thanking you for what you did for them at the end time. She's taking your hand, she's squeezing your hand, and she's stroking your lower arm, and you were there for them at the end. And your mother was met with open arms, darling, in the month of May. When I say that, the whole family was there with open arms. I also have your mother's mother. I have your maternal grandmother, Karen, through.
Yeah.
And she was a homespun type of a lady. And she's talking about the holidays, your grandmother. She's talking about Thanksgiving and Christmas time, your grandma. Did you know her?
Yes,
Did you know your mother's mother?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Someone was a person of faith, because I see a cross or rosary beads. So in other words, somebody stayed in their prayer time.
Is what happened? When the car was there with my mom's casket in it, I went in the room and I got the cross that was one of the crosses that was on her father's casket, and I gave it to the funeral director to hold in the casket when they buried her. That was the cross.
That's right. So that's her way of acknowledging that she knew about that. And the cross for her represented faith. And I do have to say, your mother has been sending prayers down for you, precious. She's been sending prayers down for you, that you keep going, because you were very close with your parents, very close.
Yes.
And then your dad holds up 2 fingers. Do you have other siblings? May I ask you?
Yes. Yes.
How many?
Brother and sister.
The 2? Okay, it's your
dad. I have a brother and sister.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's your dad's way of acknowledging not just you, but the other 2 siblings. And your brother is going to go through changes. And it's nothing negative, but your dad's going to be watching out for your brother. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, and someone's going to have a baby, honey. I don't know if this
really?
is seriously. You can write to me. Go on my Facebook and write to me. It's going to be a big surprise. It could be a niece, nephew, or a cousin. But I do have to say, it's going to be an announcement. It's not a whole lot longer, Karen.
Oh, okay.
And then the other,
I'm a great aunt, so it's got to be way down there.
That's okay. It's still going to be announced. And who's Anne? Anna? Does somebody have a middle name of Anne? Anne. Annie, Anna, or is your middle name Anne? Your mother's acknowledging an Anne, either with her or on Earth, darling. Okay?
Okay. Not me. It could be my friend Tina that passed away, my best friend several years ago.
Well, was there an Ann connection with her?
It could be in her middle name. It's been a while. I don't really remember
No.
the middle name.
I want you to think for me. If you call back, you'll know it. There's an Ann or Anna and also a Catherine somewhere, or a Kathy Ann somewhere in family. Now, are you married? I don't have a lot of time, darling. Are you married, Karen?
No, yes. I hear you. No, ma'am, I'm not married.
Okay.
No.
There may be a companion for you. Your dad and mother, and I don't know if you want to hear this, are pulling strings to get somebody in your life. I have to laugh
The name Catherine Ann is the girl that now it's coming forth. Is the girl that used to live upstairs for me, who moved, and we've been out to dinner a couple times.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's always correct, darling. Thank you so much for confirming, Karen. This is your parents' way of acknowledging Catherine Ann, who lived above you, because they consider her a good friend of yours. They consider her a friend of yours. And it's their way of acknowledging her. So I'm so glad you were able to confirm that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, this was just amazing, Michelle.
Thank you,
and
darling.
Tony. I was having a bad day yesterday and grieving a lot, and this really helps me, because it's pretty tough.
Karen, are you their home? Is the home still in the family? Their home, your parents?
Yes. I'm taking care of it right now. I'm the executor.
That's right. Because your mother wants you to know you're doing a good job with their home. I need to tell you that.
Yes.
And
yes, I've been taking care of it.
And I have to move on, but there is a mirror hanging in their home somewhere, and it's not in the bathroom. It's a mirror in a hallway or in a bedroom. And your mother and dad come through the mirror sometimes to help you with the home. So if I would say there's a mirror hanging, it's either entranceway, hallway, bedroom. Where would the mirror be, Karen?
Their house is totally empty, Michelle. We cleared it out when we had an estate sale, so their house is totally empty.
Where was the mirror?
The mirror would be in the bathroom.
Is that the only one now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That's the only mirror.
All
in the
right,
bathroom.
then that's the mirror they come through. Then I have to stick with the mirror. But they did have a mirror hanging somewhere, darling, before the sale. That's what your mother's telling me. And she really liked it.
Several mirrors in there.
Yeah. So I'm going to say, God bless you. Thank you for working with me. I'm glad I helped you feel better tonight, darling.
Thank you, and God bless you.
Bye-bye, honey.
Tony.
Well, Michelle, time is getting short, but you can take one more if you're ready for it, just because we had some issues with the system.
Okay.
Would you like that?
Absolutely.
All right, we're still full, so I'm just going to pull one, but I'm going to pull one from New Jersey, and that's a 732, and I believe her name is Joan. So let's go ahead and just see if Joan's on the line here. All right, Joan, you there?
Hello?
There she is.
Hi.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hello, Joan.
Hi, can you hear me?
Absolutely. I have someone.
Awesome. How are you? I'm so happy to get through.
Thank you, dear. I have someone calling you Joni. Did they ever call you Joni when you were growing up?
Yes. Yes, always, till today, yes.
Who called you Joni? I have an energy coming in, and you're little Joni to them. Was that when your parent?
Yeah, well, most of my family did. Everybody does.
No, this is someone that passed away, and I think it's a male energy. So it could be a dad.
A male, okay.
Yeah,
it could be my brother.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he calls you Joni, and he says,
Yes.
I'm sorry I had to leave, Joni, but my timeline was up. Okay? And you're going to have a dream of him. You will have a dream of your brother. Have you ever dreamt of him yet, honey?
A couple of times.
Well, guess what? He's thanking you
Yes.
for helping him. And he's going to come in a dream and give you a hug. Mark those words. Okay.
Oh, I asked him for one this morning.
I know you did.
That's funny.
Well, I know you did, because that's what he's saying to me. He's answering you. He says, she asked me and I'm going to answer her. I want to give her a big hug. And he says, you'll always be Joni to me. And I do like you, Joan, because you have this inner child within you that likes to come out and see people happy and joyful. So you're being called, you know what you're being called? Joyful Joni. I get a kick out of this. You love to see people happy, and you are Joyful Joni. So that's what they call you.
Do you get anything else from him?
Did he go fairly quickly, honey? Did he go fairly quickly, your brother?
No, it was 9 months.
All right. I have another
time.
energy coming in, sweetheart, that went fairly quickly.
Okay.
And I think it's either heart or respiratory or an accident, because I just feel like I went out quick. Okay. And this could be a grandfather figure. Here 1 minute gone the next. You're Joni with a J. Where are the other J's in family?
I have males or females. I have an Uncle Joey that passed.
Right. So I got the Joe. Wait a minute, because you're Joan. So I got another Joe. So Uncle Joe's here. He's a character.
Okay.
He's laughing. And would that be on, is he on mom's side or dad?
My father's side.
I thought so. Because your dad's on Earth, correct? Did we say, Joan, your dad's on Earth or not?
No.
Okay.
No.
Uncle Joe is bringing dad through for you. And dad has a white peace flag. And he says he's been trying to bring peace and goodwill from the paternal side down to you. And Uncle Joe is confirming that. Okay. That's kind of funny.
Okay.
They're arm in arm to stay longer, Joan. Now, someone's going to change a working situation as well. There's going to be restructuring. Are you working now, Joan, or no? Are you working?
Yeah.
Okay, listen to this. There's going to be restructuring, redepartmentalizing, expansion. I don't know what you do, but there's going to be something changing within 12 to 18 months with your work. All right, this is what Dad's telling
I
me.
am looking to start a new business, another business.
Right,
So
right.
Maybe
and you're an
that'll come through.
entrepreneur type. You're not one to have someone breathing down your neck, Joan. You're an
That's right, I'm
entrepreneur type,
independent.
darling. So it would be very good to start a creative business. It's something that you need to do. It's one of your sole purposes. I do have to say that. So you have a lot of male energy. You have brother, you have Uncle Joey, and you have your daddy. Okay? Awesome. And your dad says, get your car fixed. He wants you to keep up with your car. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, I do have a car that doesn't work in the driveway. That's just sitting there. That's funny.
I know, because he's telling me. He says, what's taking you so long to fix the car?
Money. Yeah.
Okay, so now listen to me. In my book, Messages from Beyond, there's a miracle money saying. And if you get the book, you can get it at my website. I'll sign it for you, Joan. But there's a miracle money saying, and it does work. So.
Awesome. Okay. That's what I need. Okay.
I had a client win $1 million in the Pennsylvania lottery. I'm serious, because she said it. So it's not rocket science. It's harnessing the universe and the energy of the universe in a positive way, Joni. So I want to say, God bless you, darling, in New Jersey. Mwah.
All right. So God bless you too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, Michele, again, you have impressed many, and we've had so many missed calls and people that didn't get through. But don't fret, because she will be back next week, right here on UBN. And again, you are so talented, and
Thank you.
You can tell when you have such a good heart. That you know how to deliver the message, and that's appreciative, I'm sure, of all the people that are trying to get through. So
thank you, Tony.
You're
And it's
welcome.
been my honor and pleasure to work with you, and you're a wonderful, wonderful co-host. I love you.
Thank you. I love you too. And again, now go to MichelleLivingston.com. You can check out all her upcoming events, and she has 6 books. Come on, there's 6 books that you can choose from. So, and there's just a few I'm going to show right now that go to, I'm sure, Amazon. You can go to MichelleLivingston.com, and there's a book section that you can purchase books. And if you're in the area where Michelle is, I'm sure, don't you do groups too also?
Yes, I have a seminar coming up September 24th. It's a Sunday. And we usually get about 100 people, and it's great. And we're going to have a served dinner. So if you go to my website, you can sign up or register there, or call my number, which is on my website. But I also want to give a shout out to my fan page. And this is where you can view the show. If you're viewing it at UBN, that's wonderful too. But my fan page is Michele, with 1 L, Livingston, the People's Medium. And the reason I'm called the People's Medium is I'm on a drive time morning show called the People's Morning Show. So that's how that name got coined. The People's Medium.
Well, you are.
So I would appreciate, if you'd like my page.
Well, I think that said, that I think we should go out with your seminar advertisement, and that way people can get to know a little bit more. And hopefully, like I said, Michelle's a very talented, not only beautiful, talented psychic medium, but she's a beautiful soul that is just spreading the good word. So thank you, Michele. Until next time.
Till next time, here's my motto: always be kind.
Oh, I love that motto. All right, here we go.
Bye-bye.
If you enjoy the Michele Livingston Show and want to see her in person, check out her next live seminar.
So here we go. If you can work with me, close your eyes. We're going to take 8 deep breaths, and we're going to start.
Have you recently lost a loved one?
Who lost a husband recently? I had to take a deep breath with him. I feel it was fairly quick.
Could you be the next one to get a reading?
I think I'm with you, sweetie. There's a name like Bree. They're showing me cheese. That's the new one. They showed me Bree cheese, and her daughter's name Bree. See how this works?
This seminar will provide an experience that will truly enhance your understanding of the other dimensions.
When we get over there, we train to help 1 or 2 people that are on the earth plane, and we train to be their guides or their helpers.
And confirm that you
There's a dad figure coming through here.
are never alone.
Did you enjoy it?